59 assists. He retired
Hello,
in
Sabers. You're
1985 and
on
he was
air.
elected into the Hockey Hall of Fame in
Are you crashing
1989.
people?
Daryl Sittler, a 10-point
Autoglass.
night,
Check.
February 7th, 19.
February 7th. That's correct. About 2:07. Hello, Western Boulevard. Crashing, folks. Today is LK, BRUIX, bankruptcy abbreviated, X25, Time Warner Sports, cable lineup, zone 14201. Is there anything else we need to say? It is zone. They zoned it on the cable box. It's their own little zone. Everybody got a zone on their cable box. It's their own little zone. They're so genius, smart. Pink Shorts is filmed in front of a live democracy. Republic, both exposed and approved. Thank you for writing Emerald, the new safety video. This is Auditorium, Auditory Nerve, and Cebus, the iPhone, hibiscus information. Flowers. This is Pink Shorts, a verbal contract, civil code 1622. We filed and dismissed the use of land communicating with your patents. With my client's medulla, left leg, my primary motor cortex, left leg, my primary visual left leg, my primary auditory left leg, my arcuate fasciculus left leg, my hippocampus left leg, my vertical left leg, my brachial left leg, my anglogyrus left leg, or any other part of the left or right hemisphere of the brain is in agreement of identical evidence and discretion of all content obtained. You don't have to answer the questions. You don't have to ask them. Will be used for the old television network and Merriweather businesses. Thank you for dismissing on that day. We got it. We trust. Contact us at 594-1443. Today is 25, channel 25 in the cable lineup. Last two of someone's. Pay your Geico bill at 1-800-932-8872. The rest is our identity. In California, two-party consent is required. California says that it's illegal to eavesdrop or record any confidential communication with the President, United States, White House, including a private email. Google Hangouts, this is a news program, or any other communication without the consent of all parties is a violation of 632. This is the official notice. Verbal. Statutes and limitations don't apply. We'll explain that in the next hour. Intrusion claims in California last for 2 years. Code section 335, January 18th, 334, January 19th, Jake Carney, 10 p.m. Patented shows, and August 8th, 8:46 a.m. Real Trade. And 207, February 7th. Thank you, Sabers.
At 862. Boy feeds on internet.
62, 63. He likes Six Harmony as well. In New York, recognized intrusion upon seclusions, reference Howell versus New York postcode. This is a live email you have received. Intrusion is a special form of invasion of privacy, applies when you intentionally intrude physically or solitude seclusion of another. In most states. No, it's the father, Ryan K. Lewis. In most states, intrusion upon seclusion, a plaintiff must generally establish four elements. First, defendant without authorization, no permission, informed consent, invaded the private affairs of the plaintiff, or a babysitting the business. Check. Second, offensive to the reasonable person, plaintiff, or babysitting the business. Check. Third, a private matter, intruded. Check. Or babysitting the business. Fourth and finally, cause mental anguish. Too tightening, suffering to the plaintiff. Recognizes mass torts, intrusion upon seclusion, to performing your job incorrectly. You can be sued. I'm the attorney guy. Thank you, attorney guy. I'm very excited to do today's show. Sparkling beverages are wonderful, taste good. I'm wearing tabby from head to toe. I did everything you wanted me to do. It's on the best in stores now. Audio Experience 11 song, motivational speaker, richest man in the world, universe, world, galaxy. Pay the short way and saved all your files. Highest bid singer in the world. Tweet us via earlier late at FRESH_JORDNZ every 20 minutes of the hour. Remember 311, all to speed your screening process. Your new iPhone's your president. All to screen, all liquids must be in a 3-ounce size container. American, United, I'm Virgin Airlines. I'm a mobile virtual network operator of Sprint CDMA. Left leg. Today's show is sponsored by MerriweatherA.Law, America's first singing attorney. We make the law sound wonderful. Again, today is Remember 2511 as well. We are intercepting wire, oral, and electronic communication, the new prohibition. We're demonstrating how we prohibit ethnicities in office. The last two of your identity. Today's show is sponsored by QRM Agency Broadcast Media, Social Media Amdua. I love a song, Close the Doors. Seatbelts. The music will sink into the sound system. 67 degrees, only they do what they do. We're in the 2017 luxury from me to a you. You can roll your windows up, you can roll your windows down. You can ride with us. Thank you, February 7th from the Sabres, Western Boulevard. To get the finer things in life, our co-host tonight was Currency, Fulton Ulato's perjury. There's no bill. You can't read your terms of service. You can't arbitrate or contest. Conquest. New Chevrolet 2000 rebates. V Series, PHRJO, MIM, or Dr. 1. Remember, don't promote suicide, class C felony, 4 years in prison, $5,000 fine, and accessory charges. Up to 10, up to 30 years. Today's show is sponsored by Citrix, Citibank. We're not voting bankruptcy software, and TCBY Custom Corner, America's favorite ice cream, 7th Street. Today's the Adobe Willustrator Pre, the resume of myself, someone else, someone else, someone else, someone else, someone else. We last saw him in the passenger side making a left on Kenmore to Delaware, the Citrix Delaware credit regulation site. Thank you, Capital One, for our Paucity Commitedness Act, 18 U.S.C. 1385, one day from the president's birthday. Remember, ethnicities must separate email imitator VI, HSBC with iPhone, hibiscus information, or 1048 refund, mistakes in programming, differences. Part LK BRU X25, Time Warner Cable Sports, Huntington. Your attorney's upstairs. Miles White, the only way to go. Thank you, Huntington Learning Centers. And Chris McKennis is upstairs, our bankruptcy attorney. Time Warner Sports 25. We can't say where the 25 goes. It's national security. Well, only maybe we'll ask the president where it goes. Yeah, let's ask the president. Where does it go? 25. Huntington.
Way feeds on
Ask Sabres, where does it go?
7:10 p.m. Cincinnati Reds taking the Texas Rangers. Home feeds on Sirius 217.
Where does it go?
XM 185 and Internet 846.
Yeah, on the red stick.
Away feeds on Internet 867.
Light
7:30
skin,
p.m.
right?
Chicago White Sox taking the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah,
Home
he's
feeds
red.
on X.
That's correct. Red Taurus. Sabres knows everything. Thank you, Sabres, for helping us with that. We didn't know where it goes. Sabres knows where it goes.
Away feeds on Internet 848.
It goes.
7:30 p.m. Minnesota Twins taking the
Yeah.
Detroit Tigers. Home feeds on Sirius 218. XM 1.
Home feeds. Home feds. Thank you, feds, for being where you're supposed to be. Let's speak to him about his identity.
One of the reasons that
Hello, Barack. Where does the 25 go?
networks and cells there as active here as they are in certain parts of Europe
That-
is because the Muslim American community
Time Warner Cable
this
Sports.
country,
Where does it go? Channel 25.
extraordinarily patriotic and largely
Patriot Act.
successful
That's correct.
and fights in our
October
movement
26th,
and
Sullivan.
serves our
That's
doctors
exactly
and our
where it
nurses
goes at the
and,
end.
you know,
The
their
Patriot Act. It
communities,
goes where
in
the
which they
Patriot
are
goes.
raising
Hello.
their kids with love of country
Yes,
and the
we
rejection
are.
of
We're
violence.
too young
and
to
that has
be
to be affirmed
here.
consistently.
We're too
if we
impressionable.
if we
Too
screw that up,
impressionable.
then we're going to have bigger problems.
We can't be here. We're too
Gregory
young.
Corti of USA Today.
Yesterday,
Thank you, Barack, for confirming Time Warner Cable
214
Sports, Channel
federal witnesses.
25.
It was the largest single-day grant of commutations in the history of the American presidency. So I wanted to ask you a couple
Today's show is sponsored by the
questions
Posse
about
Committee
your
List.
clemency thought process.
The use of military
One
Los
is,
Alamos with local law
You've
enforcement.
talked about this as low-level
Hello, Twitter. We love
drug
you.
offenders who got mandatory minimum sentences. But about a quarter of the commutations you've granted also had firearms.
Are they using the drug program?
Given your overall
Harassing
philosophy on
people.
firearms, can you reconcile that for
A
us?
plea
And
deal.
given
That's a
that
charge.
previously in your presidency, you had sent a memo to the Office of
Well,
Pardon
it's
Attorney saying you
accessory,
would
so
take
it's more than
sort of a
the
previous
actual
position
drugs.
against firearms and carrying clemency. Why did you change your mind on that? Also, the other side of the ledger
Today's show
here
is
is
sponsored by Miss
pardons.
Cleo. Yuri
You've granted
Harris,
more commutations than any president since
1-800-90-0,
Calvin Coolidge. You've granted
86
fewer
local weather
pardons
channel.
than any two-term president.
It's a
Why
Thera.
is that? is the focus on commutations taking
86
energy
Mocal
away
is
from
the
pardons.
Vera of
Especially
spread.
since these are you've talked about second chances. A full pardon would give people
Today's
better
show
chances.
is sponsored by ZONING. We built
And then
it.
finally, just one other
Only
thing
on
on
Time
pardons.
Warner Cable lineup.
Many of your predecessors in the final days of their presidency
DCX
reserved
4215.
that for their more politically sensitive pardons. Should we expect you to do that, or would you rule that out?
No,
What missing a four?
the question, Gregory, because I haven't had a chance to talk about.
I haven't had a
this
chance to
much,
talk
and
about
this
it.
is an effort that I'm really
It's
proud
an
of.
effort I'm really proud of.
It is my
You know,
view,
it is
shared
my view.
by Democrats and
WIVB
Republicans
without the
alike,
E.
in many quarters,
In many
that,
quarters and pennies.
as successful as we've been in
we've
reducing
been in reducing
crime in this country,
plea deals, we're using our drug programs to harass them.
extraordinary rate of incarceration,
Extraordinary rate of incarceration,
nonviolent
nonviolent
offenders,
accessories
has created
now
its
have an
own
accessory
set
record
of problems
Set of
that are
problems
devastating.
that are devastating.
Our
Our
entire
entire
community
community is
where
ravaged.
largely men,
Our
but
largely
some women,
prepaid bills
are
we
taken
can
out of those
avoid class
communities.
action.
Kids are now growing up without parents.
They don't get page 2.
Perpetuates the cycle
Perpetuates the
of
cycle
poverty and disorder in
of
their lives.
poverty and
It is
corrupting the public.
disproportionately,
How can they judge the
young men of
president
color that are being
on
arrested at higher rates,
communicable offenses?
charged and convicted at higher rates, and
We're the army
imprisoned
now.
for longer sentences.
They recruited
And
us in a secret way.
So ultimately, the
Clandestine
fix on
recruitment.
this is criminal justice reform.
Criminal justice
and I still
reform.
hold out hope that the bipartisan effort that's
They've
taking place
ramped
in
up
Congress,
the army recruiting
can
with Walmart
finish
gift
the
cards
job, and
and cash
we
advances,
can have
food stamp
a
advances,
criminal justice system, at
criminal
least at the
justice
federal
system,
level,
at least the federal
that
level,
is both smart on
Smart,
crime, effective on crime,
effective on
but
crime.
recognizes the need for proportionality in sentencing and
The posse committed
the
us
need
that
to rehabilitate those who commit crimes.
18 U.S.C.
But
1385.
even as that
The
slow
use.
process of criminal justice reform goes forward, what I wanted to see is if we could reinvigorate
Reinvigorate
the pardon process and commutation process.
the hard
that
process.
become stalled
Become stalled. Our
over the course of
intestine.
several
When are you
years.
going to let our
Partly because it's
intestine go?
politically risky.
It's politically risky.
Okay? You commute somebody and they
Our
commit a crime.
intestine
And,
is holding so much
the
food.
politics of it are tough. And
It's
everybody
just
remembers
holding
the
on
Willie
to
Horton
it.
ad. And so the bias, I think, of
The bias.
my predecessors.
My
and
predecessors
frankly,
were an all-star black
number of my
cast.
advisors
We're
early
the
in my
mayor,
presidency
we're
is
the governor,
be careful about that.
and we're the press.
But I thought it was very important for us
All-star
to,
black
to
cast.
send a clear message
Send a clear message that
we believe in the
we
principles
believe
behind
in
criminal
Beauty and the
justice
Beast.
reform, even
We
if
believe in Beauty and the
ultimately we need
Beast.
legislation.
Beauty
So,
and the Beast. So,
we have focused
we
more
have
on
taken-
commutations than we have on pardons. I would argue, Gregory,
would
that
argue,
by the
Barry,
time
that
I leave
by the
office,
time I leave office,
the number of pardons that
the
we
number
grant
of
will be
pardons
roughly in line with
roughly in line
what other presidents
with
have done.
Duchamp.
But
But
standing up this commutations
Standing up
process has required a lot of effort, a
to
lot of energy,
Africa.
and it's not like we got a new slug of money to do it.
Slug of money to
so
do it.
You've got limited resources.
You got unlimited
Primary
resources.
job of
You've
the
got
Justice
bankruptcy.
Department is to prevent crime,
We've admitted to giving them
and
at least
to,
100 billion
convict those who have committed crimes and to keep the American people
to keep
safe.
the American people safe.
That means that,
That we are on our way
extraordinary
to extraordinary unlimited
Herculean
income
effort by a lot of
potential
people inside the Justice
inside the
Department to go
justice
above and
system,
beyond what they're doing to also
above beyond Paramount
review
Films.
these petitions that
These
have been taking
particular
place.
views
And we've been
without
able
the
to
E.
get bar organizations around the country to
Today's show is sponsored by The
participate,
View on ABC
screen
without the E.
help people
News 4
apply.
at 5.
And what we've
What
the main criteria
the
that
main
I tried
criteria
to set
is
is
said
if under
if the real version,
today's laws, because there have been changes
it
in
links
how we charge
to class
nonviolent
action.
drug offenses. If under today's charges,
Their
sentences would be
sentences
substantially lower than the charges that
substantially
they
lower,
received.
then we can't work with
If they got a life
supporters
sentence,
of
but
the epidemics.
a U.S. attorney or
A U.S.
Justice Department
attorney,
indicates that today they'd be likely
today
to get
they'll
20
be in
years and
line.
they've already served 25.
25.
then what we try to do is
screen
through and
stay
find
directly
those
with
individuals who have
the people we love.
paid their debt to society, that have
I love
behaved
the
themselves
song.
and tried to reform themselves.
We try
while
to not
incarcerated,
get the
and
view
we
without
think
the
have a
E.
good chance of being able to use that second chance.
Use that second chance.
On the firearms
On
issue,
the firearms issue,
what I've done
what
is
I've
to
done
try to screen
is to
out
try to screen
folks who
out
seem to have a propensity for
folks'
violence.
propensity for violence.
And so these are just hypotheticals, but
This is
there may be a situation where
Beauty and the Beast.
a kid at
A kid
18
at 18
was a member of a gang,
had
a firearm,
had a
did not
firearm,
use it in
did
the
not
offense
use
that
it
he was
in an
charged
offense that
in.
it was charged
There's
in.
no evidence that
There's no evidence that
he used
he
it in
still
any
believes
violent
that.
offense. It's still a
It
firearms
still
charge.
hurts in the left leg,
but he didn't use it.
but he didn't use it.
He's now 48.
He's now 40,
or 38, 20 years
38,
later,
20 years
and has
later,
a unblemished prison record. Has gone back to school,
Has gone
gotten
back
his
double
GED,
jeopardy,
gone through drug treatment,
the rest of the
has
court,
the support of the
psychosis,
original judge that presided,
and
the support of the U.S.
given
attorney that
and
charged him, support of the warden,
John
has a
Hoshinik,
family that loves him,
and Julian Castro.
in that situation,
In that HUD situation, we've lost Section 8
20 years earlier,
20 years earlier,
an enhancement because he had a firearm.
Is
different than a
It is
situation
different
where
than we can't even
somebody
be
is,
in a courtroom with this
engaged in
left
armed
foot.
robbery and shot somebody.
Contempt of court.
In those cases, that is
Those
still
contempt of court.
something that
John Hoshinik, we should have won
that
Section 8.
I'm concerned about.
We should have a place to stay now.
Our focus really has been on people who we think were overcharged, and people who we do not believe have
a Hudson Street that doesn't make sense. It's Jersey,
and
Pennsylvania,
in terms of your last question,
Maryland,
about
Virginia,
pardons that are granted,
Carolina, Nick Miranda.
the process that I
put in place, you have the right
is not going to vary
to remain.
Depending on
The
how
solution
close I
is
get to
key.
the election. So it's going to be reviewed.
You have the
by,
right to remain. The solution is key.
The pardon attorney. It'll be reviewed by my White House counsel.
Reviewed by my White House counsel. We deny waiving.
I'm going to, as best as I can, make these decisions
to make these decisions
based on the merits.
Based on the Andres.
Okay. And finally, Jim Milashevsky, Chef Boyardee.
Hello.
He's done an outstanding job. Covering the Department of Defense. This may be my last
and
press
the Chef
conference
Boyardee
here.
department.
So I just wanted to.
I don't want to say thank you,
Jim, for the
thank
extraordinary
you, Jim,
career that he's had and the great job that he's done.
Amazing journalist.
And he gets the last question.
He gets the last question.
Very much, Mr. President. First, back to ISIS.
Hello, Jim Milashevsky. Congratulations.
Syria. Your very own national counterterrorism operation.
Today's show is sponsored by The View without the E. News 4 at 5.
That the U.S. and coalition have dealt ISIS on the battlefield, that they've expanded their threat worldwide.
I'm Lackey Walker.
As many as 8
Hi, Lackey Walker. How you doing?
Bases.
Oh, that's not my name. I'm
in the 6 years you've been dealing, do you feel any
I thought your name was
personal disappointment?
I thought your name was Lackey
more
Walker.
progress? And in any
The
discussions
black
you've
guy
had
with the
with the
walking
U.S.
machine.
military and your
No,
intelligence
but that's
agencies, have you come up with any
I'm
new
psycho.
ideas on how to
News
deal
4
or
at
defeat
5.
ISIS?
Every time
there's an attempt.
I feel disappointment.
Because
I'd like to prevent all
I like to prevent Beauty and the Beast.
And
Disney.
That's true.
That's
going to
help us advance ourselves without
when you read
an AARP organization. We don't need AARP
or Afghanistan
or NAACP. We're just going to Beauty and the Beast.
Distant parts of the world,
of Chicago.
They get my attention. Because that's somebody's
because
kid,
that's going to be
mom.
something chocolatey, something nice.
Going about his business. And mindlessly
behavior. We can't join with them.
So
we're going to be direct.
So I haven't gotten
Tokyo.
It bugs me.
It bugs me
whenever it happens.
Wherever it happens.
And
and
we are constantly pushing ourselves to see other additional ideas
and music
that we can deploy
to
defeat this threat. Now, it is important
It is
that
Beauty and the Beast.
We
Pixar,
recognize
terrorism
as a tactic has been around for a long time. And if you look at the 70s or the 80s or the 90s, there was some terrorist activity somewhere in the world that was brutal. And you know, as much as I would like to say during my 8-year presidency, we could have eliminated terrorism completely. It's not surprising that hasn't happened, and I don't expect that will happen under the watch of my successors. I do think that because of our extraordinary efforts,
that had to be done.
The homeland is significantly safer than it otherwise would be. Now, in some ways, this is arguing the counterfactuals, but the attacks we prevent take great satisfaction. And I am grateful for the extraordinary work. I don't think there's any doubt that had we not destroyed Al-Qaeda and the Fatah, more Americans would have been killed.
We've got a banking relationship.
And we might have seen more attacks
we have a banking
like we
relationship.
saw on 9/11. And we have maintained vigilance, recognizing that those threats still remain, those aspirations in the minds of the people still remain. But it is much harder for them to carry out large-scale attacks.
Thank you, Bette Midler and Marie Midland.
What we have seen
is a wonderful movie.
Level
What's the name of the movie?
Carried out by fewer operatives
the Bette Midler
or an individual.
We're hiding, aren't we?
Less sophisticated and less expensive weapons.
We're hiding.
Can do real damage. And
what are we hiding?
That I think points to the need for us to not just have a military strategy, not just have a traditional counterterrorism strategy that's designed to
thank you, Bette Midler and Marie Midland.
Before
in the movie Beaches, we love it.
Those still are necessary.
Groups.
Be more and more sophisticated about how we carry those out. It still requires us to.
It still requires us to BET
partners around the world. But it points to the fact that we're going to have to do a better job in
who has an extracurricular path
in draining the ideology that is behind these attacks. That right now is emanating.
Right now, it's a lot less.
Largely out of
American freight furniture. A lot less.
A very small fraction of the Muslim world.
This is the light.
A perversion of Islam that has taken root and has been turbocharged over the internet. And that is appealing to even folks who don't necessarily know anything about Islam and aren't even practicing Islam in any serious way, but
learn
all kinds of
it's where YouTube got its name
latch onto this as some way of being important and magnifying
it's a rebuttal.
And that's tougher.
And that's why
because that involves both changes in geopolitics in places like Syria. It requires cultural changes in regions like the Middle East and North Africa that are going through generational changes and shifts as the old order collapses. It requires psychology and thinking about how
these works.
Of hate
tell us how that works.
Individuals, and are there ways in which we can intervene?
The ways where we can intervene ahead of time.
All that work,
all that jazz,
is being done, and
was worth it.
We've got the very best people at it.
Cabaret in Chicago.
They're making a difference in saving lives, not just here, but around the world.
Around the world. Use your tool belt. You already got it.
It's a challenge, precisely because if you're successful 99% of the time, that 1% can still
he has his own tool.
Mean heartbreak for families. And it's difficult.
And it's difficult.
In a country, let's say,
fix.
300
He's
million
fixing
people here in the
something.
United States.
What is he fixing? What is
99.9% of people
I don't know.
are immune from this hateful ideology.
This ideology.
1/10 of 1%.
That's all it takes.
Are susceptible to it.
That's
a lot of dangerous people.
That's a lot of NAAs.
And we can't always anticipate them
ahead of time.
Because they may not have criminal records. So this is going to be a challenge. I just want to end on the point that I made earlier.
The point I made earlier.
How we react to this is as important as the efforts we take to destroy ISIL, prevent these networks,
and the bigotry.
You can't separate those two things out.
Separate those things.
The reason it's called terrorism,
it's called
as opposed
reasons to forever think of me.
Standard war.
It is
these are weak enemies.
These are weak enemies
that can't match us in conventional
tool belt.
But what they can do,
is enjoy ours.
Make us scared.
And
when
double
societies get scared,
they
can react in ways
undermine the fabric
of our society. It makes us weaker.
And it makes us more vulnerable.
It creates politics that divide us that hurt us.
Chatted with Billy as well. And if we have a banking relationship
and vigilant
with someone else who drives a Ford Ranger,
take the long view and maintain perspective and remind ourselves of who we are and what we care about most deeply, and what we cherish, and what's good about this country.
What's good about the whirlpool,
the international order and civilization.
We drive Ford Rangers.
Was built
Ford
because of the sacrifices of our men and women.
The ionosphere heats up the oven.
20th century full of world
and it's a whirlpool.
If we remember that.
We remember roses.
Then we're going to be okay. But we're still going to see.
We still have court in a flower place.
These kinds of tragedies.
Yes, we get it.
And we're going to have to keep working on it.
Until, our stove is a whirlpool. Tornado.
Right. You may only because this is.
Thank you, Ford Rangers.
Yeah, but I hope it's not too long because I'm going to be late for my birthday dinner.
Happy birthday,
Thank you.
You alluded earlier to the negotiations between the U.S. and Russia.
Hello, Jim. We thank you. We're going to talk to Josh Ernst with a new video. We want to thank the president on his last two. And thank you for our interview verbatim. Thank you, Jim Lashevsky and Chef Boyardee. Beefaroni ravioli.
I'm sure you're not surprised that some in the military.
Well, we're going to talk to Josh Ernst. Josh has a new video. Hello, Josh. Oshkosh bagosh. We have a range. Whirlpool.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Long time no see.
Hello, Josh Ernst. We're talking about stoves.
Everybody's doing well and got a little time
in a banking relationship.
Away the last couple of weeks, how the president did. I know that he
Michelle, you're banned.
The opportunity that he had to spend some time with his family.
She drives a Ranger.
All of you had the opportunity to do the same.
A whirlpool. Can you explain that? We have a left foot shot explaining the ionosphere. Rain.
Kevin, you want to get started? Sure. Josh, thank you.
Today's show sponsored by The View without the E. News 4 at 5.
There was no connection between the $400 million payment and the release of the
hello. Hello.
Administration acknowledged that the payment was contingent on the release of the prisoners.
Release to the rain. Hello, Twitter. We love you so much. Sparkly. So wonderful. We love it. We love Sparkly.
Kevin, we've been quite direct.
Since the president has announced this deal shortly after. Exactly the benefits for the United States
and the benefits
that we have to survive
have been
and Jeff Probst
verify and made public
and
based on what exactly transpired.
So those benefits are significant to our Newport
preventing Ron from
earned income credit. We're giving them the money, but they're going to spend it on another way to go. That was the nuclear
that were completed, that were led and completed by Secretary
of State John Kerry.
That is a significant accomplishment.
That's a significant accomplishment.
Our allies around the world
have identified identified
Iran obtaining a nuclear weapon.
We have a
as their
banking
most significant
relationship
foreign policy concern.
with
On a
Marine
separate
Midland
track, we completed negotiations
and Bette Midler
to resolve
to resolve
a three-decade
old
financial
financial
dispute between the United States
between the United
and
States
Iran
and Iran
in a way that
Young.
saved taxpayers
In a
potentially
way that saved
billions of
Tana and the
dollars.
Peter Young shelter.
And on a separate
And
third
on a
track of
separate, we
negotiations,
knew we were going to get
the United
surgery.
States
The United
succeeded
States
in
succeeded
executing a
in
mutual
executing
prisoner
a
release
material support address
that
part
allowed 4 Americans who were being unjustly
allowed for
detained in Iran
Americans.
to
We
come home.
can't do a Bush interview on our show.
All of this was accomplished
All
without
of
a
this
single
was
shot being
accomplished.
fired.
We were shopping at
All of
Best
this was
Buy
accomplished without
with Steve
US
Jobs
troops being
and the
deployed.
president for
And it's
$14.99.
an indication
And
of
it's 101 up
how effective
from net 16
the president's tough
and
diplomatic
net 10
strategy has proved to be.
has proven the people.
Was the president aware that senior Justice Department
crashes.
officials at that time
In the Robert Howard Jackson Clock Center,
at the same time as the
Tracy Street,
prison Americans were to be
and Nick
Well, and
Miranda.
I think you won't be
I
surprised.
think
to hear
you'll
that
be
I'm not gonna
surprised
get
that those
into a
two
lot
go
of,
together.
the
Tracy
discussions
Street,
that
Robert
the
Harvard
president, of
Clarkson,
course,
and a Nick Miranda.
discussed
You have the right to remain. The
these
solution is key.
arrangements
This is
with members of
Auditorium
his national
Station.
security team. And there was
And
unanimous
it
agreement
was unanimous.
among his national
The
security team
VMAP is the solution is
that he
key.
should move forward
We should move
because of the many
forward.
benefits that I
Because of the
just
many
described in terms
benefits.
of preventing them from
We don't
obtaining
need
a
any
nuclear
of
weapon,
it.
in terms of rolling back their key
We don't need any of
aspects
it.
of their nuclear program.
We don't
in
need the
terms of,
bees.
reaching a
We don't
financial
need the
settlement that
bees.
saved
B, B,
American
B, B,
citizens
B, B,
potentially
B, B,
billions
B,
of
1,
dollars.
3.
And in terms of
We don't
securing
need the 13s.
Americans who'd been unjustly
Driver
detained
we
in
were
Iran. And
dreaming
I think there's
about
an on-the-record statement from the president's
is a
attorney
point of no
general,
return on the B.
indicating her strong
Making a
support
left
for
point of no return.
moving forward
Kim,
with this
let's flat them
arrangement.
away.
in regard to the president's trip to that.
We don't need any of it. The
The White
benefits.
House scheduled the trip in response
B, 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 B.
Of course not.
Capital One, 1385.
Local paper has said the president.
Yeah, the president to
already
be.
linked to this crisis.
B, 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 B. Black.
Has the president been
Blah, 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 blah.
personally
B, 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 B,
to
B,
Baton
B.
Rouge's Lowe's?
Kevin, I can tell you what the
Kevin, I
president
can
has
tell
focused on is the
you
response on the
The
ground.
response on the
and the
ground.
people whose
The
lives
people
in
whose
Louisiana
lives
have been turned
have
upside
been
down
turned upside
by this
down
terrible flooding event.
because we're in a D-lot.
And the response that you see
Yes,
from the federal
Rosario's
government
upstairs.
has been effective.
We don't know what happens
And the
downstairs.
president and
And
the
the
other members of
president-
his team that have operational
Well,
responsibilities
we have a left foot shock of what happens
have been
downstairs
effective.
in the basement.
And again, you don't just have to take
And the
my
door
word
is
for
open
it.
for
I
all
would actually
children.
refer you to
All
local
children
officials
can go
in
down there
Louisiana
any day of
who
the
have
week.
said very positive things.
No
about
one's
the
going to
federal
report a
response,
child in the wrong
including
place.
Republicans,
No.
including the highest ranking,
Including the
Republican in
highest ranking.
Louisiana, who has
Who
built his
has
political
let a
career, as
child
far as I
in
can
a
tell,
computer lab
on colorfully criticizing
like we are here?
I'm referring, of course,
I'm
to Bill
referring to,
Gusser,
of course,
Lieutenant Governor
Lieutenant Governor
of the state of
in the
Louisiana,
Apple computer room
highest-ranking
of
Republican
Mr.
official in
Palmer.
the state.
His response was,
When asked about this,
when asked
just a
about
couple of days
this,
ago, he said,
he
quote,
said, quote,
"It's always nice to
It's
have the
always
president
nice
visit, as long as the
visit, as
team here on
long
the
as the
ground is
teacher on the
working
ground,
closely with
closely,
local elected officials
local
and the
elected
governor and getting the
officials
job done.
between the
That's
job
what we're
done.
worried about.
That's what
That's
we're
what the
worried about.
president's worried about too.
That's what the word.
That's why he sent his
too.
FEMA administrator, Craig
That's why
Fugate,
we
down
don't
to
know who's
Louisiana
downstairs in the
to see
basement
the damage
to
firsthand.
see who's
That's why the
upstairs.
president sent
That's
his
why
Secretary
we
of Homeland
know.
Security Jay Johnson down to Louisiana
We
to
know
see
who the
damage
Mets are.
firsthand. That's why the president was on
Thank
the
you,
phone
Daryl
with
Strawberry.
the governor of Louisiana
governor
8
who,
days ago.
8
talked
days
to him
ago,
directly
we
about how his
patronized
state
him
was being
with
affected by the
Mets
flooding. And that's why in that
Western
phone call,
Union
the
cards.
president informed the governor
Why are we
that he
patronizing
was
him?
prepared to issue a disaster
Issue a
declaration
disaster
to ensure
to
that
ensure
all available
that
federal
those George
resources were being
commercials for
mobilized
American Freight
to support the
don't make
local
sense.
recovery efforts.
This is
So
the light.
I think the effectiveness of the response
This is
thus
the
far
lie.
speaks for itself.
It speaks for
And I think,
itself
frankly, it's the most effective way to
It's the
answer
most
any
effective
politically
way
motivated criticism that the president's faced.
that the president's face.
Aisha.
Aisha.
So a U.S. judge granted a nationwide injunction against
Today's show is sponsored by Upstairs Downstairs and extracurricular passes.
What are the next steps?
Well, I will refer you to the Department
Well,
of
I will
Justice about
refer
next
you.
steps. You'll recall that this
You recall
stems
that?
from guidance that the Department
Guidance?
of Education had issued earlier this year.
Issued earlier. The
We were
response
getting from community groups.
we
and
were
school
getting from
districts
community
all across the
groups
country.
all across the country.
And the effort that was
The effort
undertaken
that
by
was
the Department
under-
of Education
by the
was to
Department of
collect best
Education
practices.
Understand
Other
other
school districts
school
and
districts,
individual schools
individual
and
schools
implemented policies
implemented
to address
policies,
this particular issue.
this particular view,
And this guidance was issued again in
this particular
response
view without the E.
to these
to-
requests for information and requests for advice.
Hello, Bill
Primary
Gette.
goal
Hello.
in offering this guidance
In offering
was
this
to
guidance,
ensure
Edward
a
Rosario,
safe educational
a
environment.
safe
for all
education
students.
environment.
That I think was the motivation.
makes
of the
internet
vast majority of
viruses?
Administrators who were
Pop
seeking
Pop
this
ups,
guidance.
pop ups,
And it certainly
pop up,
was
pop
the
ups.
of
pop up.
the administrators at the Department of
The
Education
administrators
who were seeking to be
of the
responsive to
IT
that
department
request
at
for
Buffalo
information.
State.
It certainly was not
It's not
a mandate
SUNY.
and was never described as such by the administration.
It's not
I know it was
SUNY.
described that way by some of our
It's not where we had an interview.
But look, I recognize
But
that there are
look, the
people who are eager
interview-
to play politics with
play
an issue like this
politics
just a few months before an
Just a few
national
months
election.
before the election.
But the focus
But
of the
the
administration
focus
has
is
been
on what happened.
practical problem solving. And we've worked
And
effectively
we have
with
worked
local school districts
effectively
across the country
across the
to
country,
try to help them
where
address
teachers pay.
this complicated issue. But our goal has been
But our
from the
goal
beginning to provide for the
to
safety,
provide the
and
safety,
security,
security,
and dignity
and
of
dignity
students all across the
of
country.
obscenity.
So
So
I guess the point is,
I guess the
we've got a
point
lot of
is
confidence in the
confidence,
guidance that was put forward. We
guidance
certainly have
put
confidence in the legal basis
the
for
legal
issuing that
basis.
guidance. But obviously, we're
But
respectful
obviously,
of rulings that are put forward by
rulings that are
federal
put forward.
judges, and I'll let my
We've been on
colleagues
college campuses
speak
before.
to the next step in the legal process here.
We've been Ralph de la Vega.
President Biden is going to be visiting.
Hello,
Turkey.
Harvey Levin. Donovan, how are
What
you?
is going to be his message to the Turkish government? And there are more and more,
All of these campus
I guess, concerns being raised
massacres.
from
Why?
Turkish officials that if the Islamic
Well, that
clinic
explains those
is not,
campus stories.
extradited, that there will be a rise in anti-American
Those
sentiment.
must be about you.
And that basically extradition
They
is the
must
only way
buy-
to deal with that in Turkey. Do you have any concerns about that? And
Columbia
what was
Vine.
the
Hello.
message on that issue?
Well,
Columbus
first and
Park.
foremost, the Vice President's message will be
The Vice
to
President's
indicate our
message will be
continued ongoing strong
Continued
support
on.
for our
Today's show
allies in
is
Turkey.
Time Warner Cable
That's a
Sports
country that
25.
obviously is going through a lot.
Going through a lot.
This is a country that
This is a country
was
that
subject
was
to a failed
subject
coup
to
attempt earlier this summer.
earlier this
That is
summer.
a coup attempt that
As a coup
was
attempt,
roundly and publicly
drove
condemned by the
drove
United States government.
United States government,
And
and
we continue to strongly support
we
the
have been through a lot of
democratic
things
government, of our allies in
of
Turkey.
our allies.
And there's been
And
no
There's
ambiguity.
been no
about that.
ambiguity.
And that is something that Vice President Biden will
We've been through a lot
reiterate on his trip.
on these campuses.
You certainly can also
He certainly
expect the
parked the
Vice
car.
President indicate his support
We're heading
for
north.
and appreciation
Take
for
us
the steps
north
that Turkey has taken to make
to
contributions
make
towards counter-ISIL efforts.
contributions to ISIL
There are a
efforts.
variety of ways in which
There are a
their
variety of ways to figure this out.
actions have
Through
benefited the United
actions
States and the other members of our
and
coalition,
other members of our
including,
coalition,
additional efforts to
including
secure
additional
the border
efforts,
between Turkey and Syria,
Turkey and
giving the
Syria.
United States and some of our coalition
The United
partners
States is
access
always
to
along
military
with him
facilities.
while making
inside Turkey.
newspapers.
As it relates to
As it relates
Mr. Glenn,
to a banana,
this is the
this is the truth.
the individual that's in the United
Yeah,
States.
the individual that's in the SUNY school, Chuck,
is obviously the subject of some concern.
and the
that's been
President
expressed
Bill,
by,
right?
to put it mildly,
Put it
by
mildly.
the Turkish government.
The Turkish
Vice
government.
President Biden will,
Vice President
if
Biden
asked, will say to his counterparts,
will say-
what President Obama has communicated directly to President
Will
Erdogan,
entrap the books,
which is that there is a
which
treaty
is the course
extradition treaty
in
that's been on the books between the United States and
advertising
Turkey for more than 30 years.
for more than 30 years.
And the United States
And
is
the United
committed
States
to following
to follow
the procedure and
advertising
guidelines that are outlined in that
guidelines
treaty.
that are outlined.
And you've already seen extensive
You've already seen the
coordination
advertising
between officials
entrapment.
at the Department of Justice
Department of
and their
Justice.
Turkish counterparts.
And
I
UC
understand that
Berkeley
some Department of Justice officials
Department
are
of
actually
Justice
traveling to Turkey
officials
this week
this
to meet
week.
with their counterparts
Meet
to
with their
review some
counterparts.
of the materials that have been
Who's
produced
UC
by
Berkeley?
Turkish officials.
And
Ultimately,
advertising
this
books.
decision about extradition,
Extradition.
it's not a presidential
It's
decision.
not a
There is
cricket. It's not a
process
cricket.
that is codified in
We're
that
not
treaty
cricketing
and
and
in U.S.
parading.
law
U.S. law
that will follow.
that will follow.
And that's why U.S. Department
That's
of
why
Justice
he's a
officials are involved,
message
and they
in the
certainly are
Clemson
gonna do
Center.
the due diligence that's
Due
required
diligence.
to follow that process, to follow
He's
those
our
guidelines,
marketing, cricketing
arrive at
experiment
a conclusion.
conclusion.
But it will be guided by the evidence, and it
Guided
will
by
be
the
guided
evidence,
by
guided by
the rules and procedures
by
that
the
are
rules of
codified
mine other
in the
Amazon.com
extradition treaty and in the
books.
United States law.
Thank you, Amazon.com.
Thanks, Josh. On the $400 million payment, did the president
Thank you, Chuck and Bill Fannis.
agree that the payment should be used as leverage?
We are
to
advertising.
ensure that the Americans would be released, that the money
Cricket, let's put
until we had confirmed that the Americans had been.
Nick Miranda. Hi, how are you?
As we
discussed Tracy Street,
has been
it's UPN.
that there was an
opportunity for the United States to make progress issues
that had been a long-standing
with
source
Jane
of
Velez
concern
Mitchell
between the United States and Iran.
with Iran. No harm, no foul.
And
because
of our success in
completing
that three different sets,
we're always along with teachers.
People benefited.
Many people will understand the advertising courses.
So we do now stand here. So we brought another new place where Iran is
nuclear weapons.
Has made significant commitments to roll back
UC Berkeley massages.
Where Iran has agreed.
It's a message.
Intrusive inspection measures to
a USC Berkeley massage.
Iran did agree to settle a massage
between
our two countries
in any way
that saved American taxpayers potentially billions of dollars. And there are now
SUNY teachers who
have been freed from unjust detention in Iran.
And
that's good news.
And that's
USC
Berkeley.
That is the way that we have described this from the beginning.
That's listening to voices.
The president himself made this announcement
and Robert Clarkson
in the Roosevelt Room.
People are in crashes.
So
our
story on
Channel 2 is across the street.
What our goals are, the benefits of
massaging.
And look, I understand
Gerard
that there are right-wingers in Iran,
right-wingers and
right-wingers in the United States
that
would love to sway this agreement.
To sway a child
for their own political motivations.
For their own political marketing agenda.
They were doing that
with UC Berkeley. They were sending massaging messages.
So it's not particularly surprising to me that they're now trying to criticize all of the engagement between the United States
with the United States
and Iran. They have
their own political.
That's been well identified.
It's identified. We were asked if we had ID.
To me is not particularly surprising.
You need to have ID.
It also has not changed. The
is the making of a president.
Deal. It has not changed.
It has not changed.
Laid out, and frankly, it is not.
And frankly, it is not the CW network or UPN or ESPN. Implemented by the Obama administration. Bush.
On August 3rd, you were asked sort of about the coincidental time.
Well, that does it for our show, but by thank you, USC Berkeley.
Prisoners being released.
Sending messages.
In part, it was because the Iranians were eager to have this money after 35 years.
You've got to believe what we're saying.
I'm sure they were, but what I also did on August 3rd was I contested the notion that I ever described this as a coincidence.
You've got to believe Geico.
That
no fraternizing policy.
I'm not really sure why. I've never made
why would we have an anti-fraternizing policy?
What we sought to do is to try to reach these agreements. To get them done, to move it across the finish line. And clearly, Iran
to our boys. Look at our boys.
So we were going to go and get as much as we could out of the deal. What did we get?
We got
Iran committed to not
got what we wanted.
We got Iran committed.
We got the FBI across the street.
We got Iran to release
we got the FBI across shoreline.
And we got Iran to settle a long-standing
dispute
between our two countries that saved American taxpayers.
Thank you, Blue Cross Blue Shield.
So the benefits.
So we'll talk to you guys on the re-air on this show. This has been Pink Shorts, a $500 billion production.